Hello everybody. So today what are we going to do? I am basically going to be building this really simple upload components that we have here. Over here, as you can see, we can write what we want or what we have in our mind. We can add a photo, video, you can add tags, emojis, and location as well. And also you can do it, you can also send out your post, or you can make posts. Okay, so yes, let us just begin. Alright, so since we can see that this is going to happen in the newsfeed section, I'm going to go back here and then go into the newsfeed component. I'm going to want to clean. Let me zoom in. Okay, yeah, alright, so I can clean this up, and then what I can do is over here I can basically try to create a new component, which is the post feed component or upload post component, and then we can work on that, right? So over here what I can do is I can come here really quick. So inside the component I can create a new one and say what upload. So I want to upload upload posts, upload posts. I copy the name, I create upload post.jsx. Okay, upload post.jsx. Okay, and then I can say RAFCE. Okay, so upload posts is here, and then now that I have this, what do I do next? I'm going to go into my news feed and I'm going to import it. Okay, so how do we import this? Oh, no. Shift and this. So now that I have the shift, then I'll say what upload post, then I just close it up by using this as well. Yeah, so now that we've been able to import the upload post component here, I'm going to go into it, and then over here I can just go through. Then we're going to create a number of divs, right? So we're going to create, we already have the main div. Okay, we already have the main div, and then we are going to create another div in the main div that is basically going to handle everything that we have inside that our components. We can also call that a wrapper. Okay, so this is the main div. We can also make the wrapper here just so that you can recognize. I'm just going to give like a quick class name just so you can recognize it. Then inside the wrapper we are going to have two divs, the one on top and the one at the bottom. So I'm going to say top here, and then right under the top I can say bottom. Okay, and yeah, let's save that and it becomes formatted. Now that we have the top and the bottom, let's just work on them individually. So what else do we need? Inside the top like this, we are basically going to add two things. We're going to have the image, and then we are going to have an input. Okay, so the image for the profile picture, right? So what we can do is let's import this profile picture. I want to import it from here. So I want to import this profile picture. Let me check. Okay, so let's import this profile picture, which is I could say profile pic. Let me check one more time. Microphone. Okay, it works. Profile pic. Then I can import it from, where am I importing the profile picture from? I'm going to go through this path, then the assets, then I can to profile pic dot jpeg. Okay, now that we have this, I can use it in here by calling this statement. profile pic. Okay, then I am going to open the browser, and you should see it here looking all dirty and everything, but it should be okay after I'm done working on it. Alright, so I'm going to go back in here, and then I'm going to give it an alt of what, profile pic, just so we are sure. Okay, then after that, let us work on the let us work on this. Let's give it like a quick placeholder of what is on your mind. What is on your mind? Okay, now that we have that, let us move on to the next thing. Now that we have the top and the bottom, and we've been able to handle the things at the top, and we are now moving on to the bottom. Before we go to the bottom, we want to add one more thing. We want to add like an HR. Okay, then after the HR or the line that we are adding, then we want to go into the bottom and handle a few things over there too as well. Now what are we going to handle? I am basically going to create another div, which is so basically what is this div going to do is going to handle the arrangement of some elements, right? So I have this other div. Then what else? Now that we have this div, we can now add a few other things here, and that's another div over here as well. Okay, so these are where the items are going to be. Now I can have like an icon, I can have an icon over here, and then under the icon we can have a span. So let me write a span, and then I would say something like media. No, let's use photo and video. Okay, let's use photo and video. That's better. Photo or video. Photo or video. Photo or video. Okay, now that we have that, I want to go into React icons really quick. I want to go into React icons. Let's not try going back there. We already know how to do that in the previous videos, how to get icons from React icons in the previous videos. So let me just import them. So I'm going to import a number of things, right? I want to import the icons, which is what, md label. I want to import md label. Okay, I want to import what? Okay, let me import md label from React icons so that we can get the rest easily. So I'm going to import it from React icons. Okay, React icons /md. Then I can import the md per media, then we have md emoji emotions. Okay, then we have md location pin. Okay, now that we have these bad boys here, I want to come back here and then add them. Okay, so I'm going to add the md per media really quick. Let's not add the rest for now. Let us just work on them. So if we go back into the browser here, okay, we should see them under here. Okay, so as you can see, we have the image, we have this, and we have this, right? So what do we do next? Now that we have these bad boys here, we want to add one more button at the end. Okay, and then this button is what is going to upload, or what is going to handle the upload post. Okay, so let's just work on that as well. So over here, I want to go back into VS Code, and then over here I want to come down here and add the button, and I'm going to say, what should I say, upload or post? I'm going to say upload. I think that one makes more sense. Upload, yeah, that one makes more sense. Okay, so now that we have that, I am going to now style them as we need to style them. Now for the main div that we have here, we're going to add like a class name, and then we are going to give it full, width of full. Then we're going to give it h, what, and the h is going to have what, 170 pixels. That is like a border radius, so you're going to give it a rounded edge of LG, and then shadow MD. You're going to give it shadow MD. Okay, shadow MD. Okay, so let us go back, and okay, you wouldn't see it as clear as possible. So after giving this, okay, let's make the shadow LG instead. Shadow LG. Then over here for the wrapper here, we are going to give it p or a padding. Okay, we are going to give it a padding of 10 pixels. Going to give it a padding of 10 pixels. But let's work on the picture. Let us go to the picture here. Now for the picture, let's give it like a class name, and then inside the class names, you're going to give it a width, a specific width of 150 pixels. Let's give it a width of 150 pixels. Then over here for the height, we want to give it a height of 50. No, let's give it just 50 pixels. Why did I say 150? Then the height, let's give it 50 pixels. Then we have rounded full because we want it to be a circle. Rounded full, we want it to be a circle. Then we have, let's give it like a margin right, okay, so that it separates itself from the text, the input text. Okay, so I want to say something like 10 pixels will do. And then let's give it the object cover. Let's give it the object cover. Object. So yeah, that is object fit, in case you're using normal CSS object cover. So object fit cover, it's the same thing. Alright, let us go back and look at the project. Okay, so as you can see, this is what we've been able to come up with. Let us keep working on the styling. I'm going to go back in here, okay, and then we want to, as you can see over here, you can see that this and this are not on the same line, which is disturbing. So we're going to fix that real quick. Okay, so I'm just going to come here. Okay, I'm just going to come here, and then I'm going to say what, flex. I'm just going to say flex, and then I'm going to give it an item center or align item center. So yeah, this is it in Tailwind. I'm sure you've seen it quite a number of times already. Okay, now that we have that, you can go back into the browser and check, and you can see that they are on the same thing with the margin right over here. Now what do we want to fix next? You see, when we click on this, first of all, it's very small, and then second of all, we have this focus on it, or this outline there, that we would have to fix. Okay, so for that, let us go into the input and then style that as well. So I want to go into the input here, and then I want to give it a class name, and then start styling. So for the width, we are going to give it a width of 80%. So it's going to fill the div, so it's going to fill it, so 80%. So I'm going to do this 80%. Okay, now that we have this 80%, we are going to give it a focus property. Okay, so the focus property that we have here, then I'm going to give it outline none. Okay, now when we go back to go and check, you should see that when we click on it, it gives us, and then the length is pretty long, you know, it's not like the first one that we had. Okay, so for that, now that we've been able to fix that, let us go into the HR. And then for the HR, we are not really going to do much. We just need some spaces in between, you know, and then it should be able to separate the top from the down, make it look a little bit nicer than this. So for the HR, we are just going to give it like a margin, a simple margin. So let us give it a class name first, and then the class name inside, we are going to give it like a margin of a specific size. So I'm going to give it let's see, 20 pixels will do. Let's go and check. Okay, as you can see, it has been able to give it to it. 20 pixels is okay. Then what else? I think we would want to go into the next one, which is the button, and then we start styling, right? So what do we do now? So okay, in the bottom here, let's just arrange them nicely. So we're going to have flex, okay, and then item center, flex, and then item center. Then what else? We're going to give it a justify between, because we are going to duplicate them, so that when we duplicate them and we have multiple items inside, we're going to get the justify between all of these divs. Okay, so now that we have that, inside this div over here, we can add like a flex. Okay, but why are we adding a flex? Let me go and show you. So over here you can see that when we did it like this, you can see that the upload button is now here in this. Okay, but now we need to make sure that this one and this one are on the same line, right? So because of that, we're going to give it like a flex. I need to go back. Yeah, yeah. So let us give it a class name of what? Flex. Okay, then this flex, then I'm going to say margin left, which is so that it moves away from the border side a little bit. So let's give it a margin left of let's see 20 pixels. Let's give it a margin left of 20 pixels. Then what else? I am going to go into this div. Okay, I'm going to go into this div and then fix up a few things. So now that we come here, you can see that we've been able to give it a margin left, a nice one, and been able to fix that. So now it's left with this one. Okay, so I'm going to go here and add a class name of flex, and then we are going to add the item center. So the item center here, then we are going to give it a margin right of 15 pixels. Okay, margin right of 15 pixels, and then a cursor pointer. Okay, all right, now that we have that, let's go back and look at the results. Now you can see it here. Okay, now that it's here, let us go back and fix a few things inside this media and how things should look like. So I want to come here and add a class name to it. So this class name, what is it going to take? I'm going to say that I'm going to give it this. I'm hoping it increases the size a bit. Okay, it doesn't, because it's not a text that we are taking. So let's just take this out and let's just give it like a margin right of 3 pixels. Give it a margin right of 3 pixels. Then we can basically take this and then give it like a text color, right? And then the text color is not really a text color going to make a real difference, but the text color just adds, colors to the icon, and it makes it look, a bit better, a bit more better. Okay, so I'm gonna say text orange. Then we are going to give it an orange of 600. Okay, nothing really big like that. Okay, so now that we have this, what else? Let's go back. Okay, so we have this and we have this. We want to make sure that we are giving it some margin right. Okay, we already have the margin right, and then this. Okay, what else? So now that we have these, we can actually just duplicate this div like 4 times, and then you should see them duplicate like this. Then we just change the icons that come with them, right? So over here we can go back here and pick up the MD label. Let's just copy MD label, copy that and bring it here, MD label, and I'll name this to a label, to tags, right? I'll name this tags. Okay, and then I'll go back here, MD emotions, and I'll bring it back here and give that. Okay, then I'll take this MD location pin and I'll fix it in here as well. Then the emoji, I'll just add emoji. So I'll just make this emoji, and then here I'll say what location. Okay, now that I have this, let's change the colors a bit. Let us change the colors a bit. But what colors are we going to put there? The first one had orange. This one, let's give it blue. Okay, then let's give this one a yellow. Then for the last one, let's give it a green. Okay, then let's go back to see what we have. Alright, we have a pretty nice design over here, looking like the one that we had before. Okay, so we have this upload button that we have to style. Let us go back here. I'm gonna go into the upload button here. I'm gonna give it like a class name. Let's give it a class name. Now what are the class names? I want to give it a quick padding. No, let's give it a BG first so we know what is going on. Okay, so let's give it a BG green of what, 600, and then a text color. So let's give it like text white. Yeah, then let's go back to see. Okay, as you can see, this is it. So we can now see what is going on in there. So now that we have these two ones, we can now give it like a padding. Let's give it a padding of 7 pixels. I think that one sounds better. 7 pixels. Then over here we are going to say rounded what, LG. Okay, then we can go back to check, and yeah, here we have it. Let us just refresh and things should look a bit better. Okay, right. Okay, so for the, I think we can work a little bit on the font. Let's give it like a semi, let's give semi bold, or let's give it bold and see. Yeah, I think I like this one better. Okay, alright, so thank you very much for getting to the end of the video. This is what we're able to come up with for the upload, and in general, when we get back in the next part, we are going to move on to the, we are basically going to move on to the posts itself, you know, handling posts and all these things. So over here we'll have posts with likes and pictures and stuff. Right, thank you very much. Yeah, hopefully I'll meet you in the next video. Bye.